Hey, what's happening? World Wrestling Live here for another amazing show. And I'm just honored. I'm like giddy. I'm like a big kid. I've got with me today Jasmine Godinez and Miriam Jenkins. They are the only two girls to ever win a match at the boys state tournament in our state. On top of that, Miriam is the first girl to ever win a match in our country at a boys state tournament. And she just won the John Vaughn Award, and I'll let her explain all that. And Jasmine is now, she All-American in her freshman year at college. So good for her. And she's transferred over to Lifeview now with an amazing program there. And we look forward to seeing what she does. But ladies, absolutely so cool to have you guys on here together. How's everything going? Miriam, obviously we did the John Vaughn Award ceremony this weekend. So cool, right?
Yes, it was an amazing weekend. I've never felt so appreciated. Other than my wedding day, I felt like it was all about me. But even though it wasn't all about me, it was like, wow, it's a very important day. It's like one of those up there days you'll never forget.
Yeah, and obviously we'll talk about Jasmine. Your first year, you were over at Texas. You had a great run there your first year. Obviously there was the coach thing.
Obstacle.
The coach, yeah. And you have now gone over to Lifeview, which is where I thought you would be anyways, before you even ended up in Texas, because they have such an amazing women's program. Their coaching staff is incredible. The drill partners, the girl that beat you in the semis is your drill partner, who is probably going to win her 4th straight national title this year. And so you've got some amazing drill partners. Have you shown up at Lifeview yet?
No, I haven't visited. I didn't plan on to. I just was like, I need to make a decision. I'm happy. Let's go. Let's do it. So
Cool.
I get there September 26th. I move in. So I'm excited.
Alex is her boyfriend. Alex transferred as well.
Yes. Yes.
Good. So you guys are back together again.
Yes.
She's the old lady.
Pick 'em up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So first of all, awesome. It's so cool. I was telling Jasmine, I think Miriam, Mr. Wagner was talking about your relationships and he was getting choked up, and it was an amazing speech he made. And then in the process, he says, since 1999, or was it 99?
Yes.
Yeah. Good memory. Since 1999, no other girl had did it until 2021 when Jasmine Godinez of Hialeah, Miami Lakes did it. And I was like, oh yeah, the light bulb went off. I'm getting them girls on together. This is awesome. Let them meet each other. History. So thanks for coming on. And I want to let's first talk about what we'll ask you, Miriam, and then we'll ask Jasmine. I know we were speaking about this off the air. I was like, damn, hit play. As the conversation was so good. It's like the best stuff happens before you hit play. So talk about your run back in the 90s. You obviously, and I've heard the story, but everybody else would like to. You decided that you were going to wrestle. I know you had a good friend of yours who was part of your ceremonies this weekend, and you girls were like, well, what the hell? Let's give it a try. Tell us, why wrestling?
So, long story short, Stacy and I have been best friends since 6th grade. And when it came time for us to go to high school, we were trying to figure out what sports we could do together or what activity we would do together as best friends. Because, best friends want to do everything together. I was in the marching band. So I was a band nerd on one side. I was in ROTC, and I wanted to run track. And Stacy was like, I didn't want to do any of those. She had no desire to do any of those with me. So we both just tried to figure out what we could do together. And we both wanted to do, like if she wanted to play tennis and I didn't want to play tennis, or it was like golf and neither one of us could afford golf. Like that's an expensive sport at our high school. So then we were like, what next? So I think we saw a flyer for wrestling, and that just one thing led to another. Both of us were like, yeah, let's pick wrestling. And I'm not sure who picked wrestling first, but one of us decided on wrestling, and that's what happened. And the rest is now history. We both won the team.
And insane. So, and we'll get into the other side of that, but I want to ask Jasmine too. Obviously we've talked in the past, and I'm so proud of you. Look at you. You were like this little 10th grader, going into 10th grade or something when I first talked to you.
Yes.
Ending 9th grade. And you had just won like your first district championship. And it was insane. And look at you all grown up now in college and awesome. Good for you.
It means a lot.
Congratulations. And but talk about it. Wrestling. Well, first of all, I know you come from a fight family because I know your brother is a fighter, was a wrestler. Now he's fighting in the cage, 3-0 already. Congratulations to him. We've been following.
Thank
We've been
you.
following his young career. He's on the local circuit right now, but it's been fun to watch. Was he the one that got you into it, or was he
Yes,
you
my
up and you're like,
brother.
I'm tired of getting beaten up. I need to figure this out.
It was him, and me and my family went to go watch him at a South Dade tournament, an off season. And there was this one girl, I don't remember her at all, but there was this one girl that wrestled, and seeing her wrestle, like it brought the fire in me. And then my dad whispers, he's like, that could be you. My dad wanted me to wrestle so bad. And I was still like, I was like 8th grade, I was doing volleyball in middle school and stuff. And I just stayed quiet. I just watched her, and I saw how the whole gym was just on her match, and I think my brother had wrestled her that tournament. I just thought it was really cool. And on the ride back, my dad was talking about it. It was like, Jazz, like practice starts Monday. Your brother's going to school, like you can practice. And I was like, I'm gonna go try it out. And then Coach Turner, Miriam, the coach that you took a picture with, God, that guy, oh my God, Coach Turner, if you see this, he was just like, you shouldn't wrestle, you're too pretty to wrestle. And I think it's because of the experience that he had with 2 girls back in the day, trying out wrestling at HML. Just had bad experience with them, and basically showed them that they're not about the hard work and stuff. And I guess he just assumed that it was going to be the same run for me, but that's not what I was there for. I was there to win and show that I could do this. So I went, and no matter how much he would bash me to get out, I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And I know he doesn't regret it, but yeah, it was just started off my brother, and, history since. So.
Yeah, and fast forward, we know the relationship between you and Turner now, and obviously much love. Like another daughter, he's
Yes.
proud of you. He talks about you all the time. So you start wrestling, Miriam, and you make this run. I mean, did you ever think I'm going to be a district champ, regional champ, and I'm going to be the first girl to ever win a match at the boys state tournament?
No, I actually thought I was going to be a state champion.
Oh, damn. Hell yeah.
That was like, what high school student doesn't go to high school, participate in a sport, and not want to be number 1? I'm sorry, then you don't have love for the sport. In the back of my head, my goal was to be a state champion. And then each year I achieved a little bit more. And each year I said, you know what, you achieved more, but you didn't achieve the goal that you want. Like my goal was, like in our wrestling room, we have our names on the wall. So if you qualify for state, then your name gets painted on the wall. And Coach Billings would paint your name on the wall. So then I think it was my sophomore year, I wanted to go to state so bad my sophomore year, but that's the year I didn't get to wrestle. And I was so mad. I was so pissed at myself because I was injured and I had a different school, all these other drama, it was like, what is it? What is it? Newton's law, somebody's law where what can go wrong just keeps going wrong. That was my year. And so then I finally got back on the mat and I was like, I will be a state champion. Like my goal was to be a state champion. My goal wasn't just to win a match. My goal was to go there and crush everyone and come home with a big giant medal and say, I'm a state champion, because that's what every high school student wants. I had reality checks on the way because I was, I thought I was strong and, the best thing since sliced bread, but at times, reality still checked you. You still have people that's better than you are. At some point or another, you're going to be beaten. Someone's going to beat your record. Someone's going to, do what you did, but better. And I'm so proud that somebody did better, but I'm happy. I was a state champ.
But then let's be real, like you get your hand raised, getting that first win at boys state. Obviously understanding your mindset right now, there was still more wrestling to be done. In your mind, you didn't accomplish anything. However, did you know when you got your hand raised that was the first time
No,
At that time, did you know that that was the first time a female had ever done this?
no, I don't think it settled in, not at all. All I knew was very few women had been where I was. Very few girls had did what I had done. So there was a few things that hadn't happened. And I figured that it was just my district, because I think of places like Miami and, Jacksonville. These places are massive cities compared to where I'm from. To me, growing up in Gainesville my whole life, I'm thinking that Miami has done this before. Like, there's other places that's done this before. I'm not the first. So to me, it wasn't a big deal. I just thought that I was somebody that you couldn't ignore because I didn't suck.
Yeah.
I could say it, like, you just couldn't ignore me because I didn't suck, or I stood out because of, one thing or the other. And I didn't think that at all, that I had broke a record. I just wanted to win state or I wanted to place so that I could have a place on the wall. I wanted it to be, it was a pride. And then I didn't, like, I worked so hard to get there. Why not want to win it all?
Yeah, it's all, and you come, and I don't even know if between you and Jasmine, obviously women have come so far, right?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Miami did finally do it in 2021. It took them a
I thought
while.
they were before me.
Jasmine did it. I talk to so many girls now, and they're girls that grew up in between when you did it, in between when Jasmine did it, right? They came up and they talk about going to tournaments and dads pulling boys off the mat saying you're not going to wrestle her, telling boys pull her hair, forfeiting, things that were said in the stands from ignorant parents, for lack of better words, right? From that you had to experience to where you see women's wrestling is today, and we'll definitely get into Jasmine's story, but from where you did it all the way to where Jasmine did it, incredible, right?
Yes.
The action speaks for itself. Really does. Go ahead, Miriam.
No, you go ahead.
No, that question was for you. I just wanted to put it in there, like.
Yeah, because I've talked to girls and they'll say, man, we'd show up to tournaments, and I don't know, did you experience that? You'd show up to a tournament and boys would forfeit, parents wouldn't let them wrestle. Did you ever have those experiences?
Jazz.
I did, yes. When I won my regional state my junior year, I knew that I had made it, that I had won the finals. I won. I just went to the bathroom to go change because I knew, just got to watch my teammates. My other 120-pounder, who's also my drill partner that year, he had won it too. So just went to go change, and I come back into the gym and everybody's there waiting for me. And my, the other 106-pounders are there on the podium. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that this was going to happen right now. And I heard this mom, and I didn't say anything, obviously, I just ignored it. But then my parents also heard it, which I didn't know they heard it. One of the moms was like, oh my God, can we just take the picture already? It's not that special, or something like that. Cause they had made it big that, I was on the first place. And I looked back, but I was like, you know what, let me just keep walking. But I heard that, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Forfeits, I've had forfeits, but I don't know if the reason was because they were going against me or because I was a girl. Wasn't sure about that. But the major thing was that when I won regionals for guys, I heard a woman say that. And I think it was one of the mother's sons that I always went up against, and I always beat him. And I guess she was just mad, and which is crazy. You think, she's a woman, she would uplift me like other mothers have, but not her. So.
Oh, and that's probably small in comparison to what the girls between Miriam and Jasmine's era have felt, right?
You'll be surprised how protective a mama bear is. She don't care if you're another woman. Think about it. If some guy's getting ready to get married and she don't like him, you can see some evil mother-in-laws.
True.
So that same mom who's protecting her baby boy on the mat, his emotions, every single thing, They are the worst. I'm not gonna lie to you. The dads would just pull their kid. Most of the time, the dads would pull their kid. They wouldn't say anything. It was the moms. Believe it or not, the moms were the worst. Like you would hear the comments coming from the women. And I understand they're protecting their baby bear. Like I'm the mama, this is my little cub, and I need to protect it. I don't care if he's in high school, I don't care if he's 7 foot tall, I still need to protect my cub. And now that I'm a mother in a way, I have a stepson and grandkids, but I'm just like, I understand why some of these parents were so protective, but there is still no excuse. We were high school students. We were not adults who were used to life. Like, granted, they were like, well, get ready, here it comes. It's life and it's getting thrown in. You want to play in a big boy world, you get big boy games. I get it. But you were the parents. You were the people that we were supposed to turn to and say, help us, or how do we deal with the life? We should not have had these kind of interactions as teenagers.
Right.
Parents. Most of the time, the kids who are on the team would either ignore me or forfeit us. And that's when the parents, like the father, would be the one to be like, nope, you're not wrestling her. And the kid be like, why, Dad? I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to go crush her. And the dad's like, nope, I know better than that. I'm not going to let you do it. Whatever, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. But the kid's just in high school. He just wants to wrestle most of the time. Most of the time, the boys don't care who they're wrestling. They just want to get on the mat. They just want to play. I just want to play,
it's not the
Dad.
kids. It's typically, right, it's typically not the kids that care if they're wrestling a boy or girl. It's the parents that are influencing them on, well, if you win, they're going to tell you beat a girl. And if you lose, you're going to tell you lost to a girl. You have you can't win in this situation, blah, blah, blah. But, well, I mean, if you don't want to lose to the girl, then go beat her.
Yeah. And it's a sport.
Right?
Like that was another thing. Like in my head, it was a sport. It was not a male versus a female competition thing. It was 2 high school students, 103 pounds, give or take, on the mat wrestling for a win. Nothing to do with it. Just like if it was 2 kids playing on a basketball court, you're playing for a win. No, I didn't look at it any different. And that's how I think that's how the team and all my team moms and dads looked at it, is this girl is another one of the kids on the team who is participating, and I will be their mama cub, like, mama bear, and I will protect every last one of these kids on the team. If I got to throw the blows, nobody ever threw the blows, but it was some pretty aggressive moms out there.
And it's insane. Now you fast forward to 2022, and I went to Fargo, and I expect, I think it was day 2 or day 3 was when the girls started, right? And I know girls wrestling is still growing, right? So I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I know the boys had all 28 mats full. I said, when I go into the girls, is it going to be half the match? Are they going to have, I walk in, there's 995 girls, all 28 mats are covered.
Yeah.
It was incredible to see. And I'm looking going, wow. I mean, you almost think there's going to have to be a girls Fargo one, like a girls Fargo, like not
all
just
girls. Yes.
Fargo is for everybody, right? But you almost think like that's coming, right? Because it was so amazing. And I know, so Jasmine, I was there, I experienced, we all knew going into your state run what your goal was, right? We had spoke at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Your first goal was, I want to get back to state. And then your second goal was, obviously you wanted to win it. But the smaller goal was, man,
the least place.
And I want it. And you were one match from there.
One match. Oh my God.
And I'm still mad at your coach for putting you on bottom, but he still knows better than me because I don't know anything about wrestling, but from 30,000 feet, and I think if we had Mark Prince on here, he would say, man, thank God they put her on bottom. But it was a great match, and good for the other boy. He wrestled you smart. But you got that win and you came off. And I know initially, that first one was amazing because I feel like everybody at Osceola Heritage Park was there just for that match. It was absolutely insane. The feeling and the energy that was in the room when you were wrestling in that. I mean, I remember it was the bottom right-hand corner mat.
Yes.
You were ready to go. Everybody was on that side of the stadium just waiting for you. And when you got your hand raised, it was pure eruption. And that feeling of getting that first win, do you remember it now? Do you look back and go, wow?
I do. I still have the video.
pride?
Yes, I watch it here and then. Like Miriam said, when you just win, like honestly, you know, I had that ugly mask that to hold my hair and the headgear. I was just overwhelmed. I was happy. And that match was important because I don't know where the match is. I don't know if it's online anywhere, but I won that match because of something that me and my coaches had gone over. It's I'm gonna describe it, but it's when someone has you cradled up and they're hip to hip and they're about to roll you, but you post your hand. And we have went over that and I had messed it up where I wrap around the back. So I literally just helped them. And I've got pinned before and my coach got so mad at me, Coach Turner. He was like, Jasmine. And I was like, I got so scared. Coach Turner got so mad at me. I was like, oh my God. So we went over that. And it so happens that match that I won at state, he goes to cradle me. He was down and I hear his corner, you have the cradle. So he locks it up. But I was calm. I was like, I went over this with my coach, you know, you do the best when you're calm, you're not panicking. So I just posted my hand and I'm like, Jasmine, you do not wrap around the back. You're losing this match. Be smart. Posted, breaks his lock, and I get the pin. And my coaches, they cheer like if I won gold, like if I won the Olympics. They're like, yes, they hug each other. And I knew I was very proud of myself. You know, I'm super humble, but I was so proud of myself for not messing up. And it was amazing. And then when I look back, I was still super calm. My coaches hugged me, but like Miriam said, I was just like, I got more to go. I got more to go. That was just in my mind. And then comes the Concy semis, because if I won that, I'd be in placing rounds. I
Well,
lose that
even
match.
before that, you wrestled the kid that like demolished you the year before that.
Yes, from
going on.
Springstead. He's like
And-
6 feet tall.
But you wrestled him close. It went all
It
the
did
way.
go better than my year before.
Yeah,
Yes,
and you
it
didn't
did
get
go better.
pinned. You went all 3 periods.
I did. And that, wow, it was tough. It was 6. I mean, the second day I was probably weighing maybe like 100 and maybe 10, 11 pounds. Yeah, because you weigh in a pound over. So I was like 107 and then, hydrating, maybe 111. And I just knew that kid was like at least 120, 125 pounds. I mean, he was 6 feet tall. I was like, I'm 4'11". I was like, oh my God. But you know what? I did go into that match and saying, I'm going all 3 periods with you. I'm going. And I did it. And but yeah, so I made it to the Concy semis. That's where I injured my knee. I knew the time was running out and I was like, I gotta get a takedown. So I went for it. I went for an ankle pick. I saw his right leg lead was just like right there, went for it, didn't get it. He defended it really well. And we were out of bounds. And then, oh my God, I can't. It was 1-0 and I went back. I don't like to cry in front of people. I went back to the bathroom and I just bawled. Oh my God, it was the worst feeling ever. But I just knew after that I was going to college and that's what I wanted to do. And there's bigger and better things that I can accomplish. But man, I cried so much. And my coach Turner, he cried and he was like, Jazz, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, I can't right now, coach. Like right now, I can't be proud of myself. But at the, looking back now, I really am. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
you go off and I was so excited because the rest of the country never got to meet Jasmine like Florida did, because she really didn't get the opportunities to go off and wrestle at a lot of these national tournaments like some of our other girls did.
Right.
And so I used to tell people, I can't wait till the world meets her, because we got a girl here in Florida that is awesome. And I can't wait for the girl to meet her. And her first ever college tournament, she goes and tears shit up. And next thing you know, AWW Wrestling's talking about her and the women's talking about her and she's on flow and the NAIA, and she's arrived and she goes on in All-Americans. And it was cool. I mean, her loss was to the eventual national champion, Peyton Prusson, she now gets to drill with every day, I'm sure, when she gets to go to school. And she's awesome. I've had her on the show, but and she dates a Miami boy.
Yes, she does.
She keeps it down south. But yeah, it's awesome to see, because I was just, like, I knew the world had seen our Kaylee Reese, the world had seen our Hannah Hall, the world had seen our other girls, right? But the world hadn't seen Jasmine, because she just hadn't had those opportunities. Did you go to Fargo last year?
Mm-mm,
Nope.
I've never.
Fargo, didn't get those opportunities. So I was like, man, wait till the college world gets to meet her. And it was great. She didn't disappoint us. She did awesome. So fast forward now, you get that call. And I do want to talk about the Marine Corps, because our beloved Marine Corps, because that's awesome what you've done there. But I want to know, fast forward, you get the call that you're going to be a John Vaughan award winner. And you and I had this conversation. We'll just have it again. What did it mean to you? I know initially you were like, man, I ain't that important, right? I remember you telling me, but you get the John Vaughan. So explain to everybody what the John Vaughan Award means and what it meant to you to receive it.
Okay, so the John Vaughan Award is an award that is given at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Florida chapter for an amateur wrestler who has contributed to the sport of wrestling in a positive manner. So that's the shimmy down version of it. So of course, I personally, when I first was told this is what I'm getting and was nominated for it, I was like, not me. Like, I don't deserve this. I didn't do anything. I'm just a girl who wrestled. I didn't do anything. Like, in my hand, like, I didn't do anything. It wasn't me, like that was kind of the mentality that I had, because all I did was what any other high school student would do is I wanted to wrestle more than anything. I knew that there were things that I had done. I knew that I had made some firsts, but I didn't realize how big of an impact that I was, because we did not have weigh-in procedures. And those were things that were done when I first came to a tournament or something. One of it was like a duels, and they were like, well, we don't have a way to weigh her in. And my coach was like, she can weigh in just like the rest of them. Well, no, she can't weigh in just like the rest of them, because that's not how the boys weigh in. And they were like, okay, well, then we'll weigh her in last. Like, we'll weigh her in last. And then she weighs in a singlet and a sports bra anyway, the same stuff she's wrestling in. That's how she weighs in. It's not that I'm not weighing in boxers. You know what I mean? I'm not weighing in anything that's going to put any of these gentlemen in a compromising position. And they then realized, like, it was like, those were the things that barriers they had to overcome. Kind of like your coach. They had females in the past. They just wanted to do one thing. They never wanted to do another. So a lot of them had a stereotype for what we were going to be like on the mat. And I was one of those ones that broke a lot of those stereotypes for the coaches, because the coaches were like, I will never, at the Hall of Fame, I had one of the gentlemen come up to me and he said, I'm not going to lie to you. In 99, prior to you coming on the mat and wrestling, I didn't think girls belonged in sport at all. Had no passion for them. Wouldn't have let a girl on my team unless she was keeping stats or coming to mop the mats when we were done. Like, there was no reason for a girl to be on my mat, because she did not have the skill set. She didn't have the strength. There was no proof that this could even happen. And then in 99, when I was standing there with my hand up at state tournament, he was like, I just swallowed my pride. And the first girl walked on my team. I said, let's do this. Because if I can make you a Miriam Jenkins, then I'm gonna do my best to make you a Miriam Jenkins. And I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. But now that I'm older, like now I'm older, and I realize, like, after I take a step back and look at it, I was like, okay, maybe I did touch, a few things. Maybe there were a few procedures and lives that I have touched that I didn't intend to touch, but I did. And that has changed the sport, because a lot of the coaches that are coaching females now had in the past had said they would never touch a female, never let a female on their team, or did the same thing that her coach initially did. Nope, not going to give you a chance. You're just here to fill space. You're just a warm-up partner for my Marine, for my not my Marine, for my for my teammates. So, you know what I mean? So that's what you are. You're there to run drills or to just be a time filler. I'm not going to waste my time trying to train you. And then that all went out the window when you have people like myself and Jasmine that go to state and qualify and win matches. And then they're like, okay, maybe we need to pay attention to this. And I just feel bad that we had to go through all of the crap we went through in order to get there. Yeah.
But yeah, I had I'm sorry, Daniel. I had my senior year. I had a bad experience with the weigh-ins, and I'm really disappointed to this day. And I'm gonna tell a story. I made it to the second day, of course. And I'm in the line, how it's the mats are full because we're ready for weigh-ins. And they're like second day, a lot of people got knocked off of the first day. So I had a lot of looks. And here I am, I'm talking to my coach. My coach is going everywhere, like, hey, where's she gonna weigh in? And they're like, girl. They're like, what do you mean? Today's the second day. My coach is like, yeah, my girl needs to weigh in. And they even had to check the list to see if I was still in the second day. And he goes, yeah, Jasmine Godinez. And they're like, okay, give me a second. So in front, long story short, in front of all the guys, and my boyfriend was there and he was pissed, but I had to weigh in. My coach had to take off his jacket and put it around my waist because I had to change in front of everyone. They could not take a scale and weigh me into another room or something. I had to it was back of a stage and all the guys were on the mats and I had to change really quickly into my singlet and stuff and right in just a little tiny jacket. So I was looking, make sure no one saw me and then weighed me in. But that was the worst experience. And it was my senior year. And I was right there when they were like, girl, what do you mean? And they had to check and made sure that I made it to the second day. But yeah, so I guess we went through some stuff, right, Miriam?
Yes.
But what was, how'd you do in that tournament the second day?
Me?
Yeah.
I made it to the Consi semis. That was a state tournament.
Oh, wow.
That was the state tournament.
That was the state tournament they did that to
Yes,
you?
Daniel. Yes, the state tournament where I had beaten, I had wrestled Springstead and I knew I had Consi semis right after the semifinals in the morning. And yeah, that was at state.
Oh, well, that sucks.
That was at state. Yeah.
Yeah, not just all the boys on the mat. There's people in the stands. There's people.
Yeah.
What are those when?
Well, Daniel, you've seen the arena and you guys seen the arena, the west side. So we were where we warm up inside.
Yeah, the mat.
You know how they have 7 scales right there. My coach had to take off his sweater. Not Coach Turner, the assistant coach, Antonio. I don't know if you guys know him. He still competes in the master division, but he had to take off his sweater and he goes, Jazz, he has a little daughter. He's like, just do it. Okay. I'm super sorry. My eyes were watery. I'm like, why can't they just take me to a room? And he was like, it's okay, Jazz, it's okay. So he takes it off and I'm there changing and you just see the people with their packets just there. And I'm just like, wow, y'all couldn't just take me to a bathroom. But, so you had to change right there. And my parents, my dad, I had to Dad, it's okay. That's it. We got it over with. I weighed in. Let's get ready to rumble. That's it. We're good. Yeah. So that was at the state tournament, my senior year.
Oh man. So I probably was there somewhere taking pictures somewhere.
Yeah.
Not of that situation. So Miriam, you get the John Vaughn Award, but I don't think people realize, obviously Jasmine still has things to do, right? So she's at the point now where she's gone to college. She got that All-American. Her goal is obviously to win it all. And I know she wants to wrestle on the world stage and do some things there. But we haven't seen the story yet, right? The story isn't.
Story's being written.
Right now.
I can't wait to read the book.
Yes. With your story, it's incredible because you leave, and I'm trying to remember because I just experienced this weekend. You leave high school and you decide you're going to go to the Marine Corps, correct?
Yes.
And Marine Corps, my father is a Marine. My grandfather who passed away was a Marine. The Marine Corps lives in my family deep. My father has been involved with Wounded Warrior and everything as long as I can remember. So BFWs and Moose Club, I know them all, right? But you end up going to the Marine Corps and you get to boot camp, obviously, and you talked about how that wrestling mindset got you through boot camp, that grueling stage there. now you get out, tell me if I say this story incorrectly. You get through your MOS, you get through infantry training, and you get to go off to the fleet, as they call it, right? And you say, I want to do Marine Corps wrestling. And they say, you have to serve 2 years active duty before we will allow you to be on Marine Corps wrestling. Is that correct? Is that the story?
It's not quite correct.
Okay, I'm trying to understand, because there was
Yeah.
something where they made you do something in order to be able to get the opportunity.
Well, it wasn't that they made me do anything. I just needed to become a United States Marine and get to my first duty station, which would have been where I was stationed first. So I had to get through all of the training aspects, which was boot camp. Then there is a combat, which is like a mini version of the infantry training for us. And then there is my MOS school, which is my military occupation specialty school. And then you get stationed in your first duty station, your first place you're going to be for the next 3, in some places, depending on where you're at, 2 to 3 years. So in my case, I went to Japan first. I went to Okinawa, Japan, which was not, as you can tell, in the United States, where the Marine Corps wrestling team, which was in Quantico, Virginia at the time. So there was no way for me, well, at the beginning, I didn't realize that there was a way for me at all to even be able to go to the wrestling team in Quantico, Virginia. So I was in Japan the first year, and it was just local tournaments. It was a bunch of us just playing around on the mats, like whatever we could do at the gym there, because on the base that I was on, Camp Hansen, they had a gym, and we could, it's like open mat time. We would just unroll the mats, and then a couple of people would come roll around, and we'd have fun. And that's when a lot of the guys in my work realized that I was a wrestler, because I would go to the open mat time and I would wrestle. And they was like, oh my, she doesn't suck. Like, she's tiny, but she doesn't suck. And then we would have, like, the local high schools would have tournaments, but because we're it's Okinawa, Japan, it's a small island, they would allow the active duty Marines to come and wrestle in the tournaments. And most of the time it was active duty Marines versus active duty Marines, because we were the older and we were against each other. But because I was so small, I still got to wrestle some of the high school kids, because it was an open tournaments from USA Wrestling over there at the time. So I would wrestle high school boys, and they were like, this isn't fair. Like, I had a mom come to me and tell me that this isn't fair, that I shouldn't be able to wrestle her son as an adult. And I was like, well, it's an open tournament. I should be able to do whatever I want. And I just kind of walked away from her and just left her there, like, mad. But it was the summer. Like, it wasn't even like, it wasn't wrestling season for him. And he didn't go back to school. I mean, he got beat by a Marine. Like, that's what when we all sat down later, I was like, this kid's not going to care. He got beat by a Marine. He's a high school student who got beat by a Marine. He doesn't care about if she was a girl or not. He's going to tell everybody, I got beat by Marines. And then 90 other kids who was in his school got beat by Marines too. So it wasn't a big deal. And that's how he looked at the story. Because I talked to the kid later and I was like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine. I can't believe, like, you're good. Like, you're good. Where did you train at? Like, can you show me this move? And that's what the kid,
parents.
He didn't care about who he was wrestling. It was the parents. So that's what delayed me for the first year when I first joined. And I joined the Marine Corps because, unlike Jazz, there was no opportunities for me. In 99, there was no opportunities. Minnesota Morris, I think, was the only school that I heard about that had female wrestling, that allowed females to wrestle. And I'm like, I was born and raised in Florida for a reason. I don't do snow. Like, I don't do cold. I didn't do that at all. And I was like, let me see where Minnesota's here on the map. The answer is no. Nope, no Minnesota. It's cold. Nope, not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I saw the Marine Corps wrestling team at, I think, Sunshine State Games. And I came up to the team head coach and I was like, hey, would you allow a girl to be on your team? And he was like, if you can join the Marine Corps first, then you can be on my team. And I was thinking, like, oh, that's easy. I can do that in my sleep. Like, no problem. My sister's a Marine and my sister did no sports in high school. And if she can do it, then so can I. I mean, but now I know we're not like the average bear that I guess around. So yeah, that's how I ended up on the Marine team. And that's how I was delayed.
Yeah, and how many other women before you were on the Marine Corps wrestling team?
I don't think there was any. I think myself, and at the time there was a lieutenant she was stationed in Hawaii, and she had started because Hawaii is big on female wrestling. I absolutely love the state of Hawaii. I had dreams of moving to Hawaii and living on the beach and just wrestling all day with the rest of the female wrestlers, because Hawaii is so supportive when I first joined.
Okay.
And I think she was stationed in Hawaii at the time. I had filled out the paperwork, called the coach from Japan. So I'm like up at 3 a.m. trying to call back to Quantico, Virginia to talk to them. And he's like, yeah. And he's like helping guide me to get the paperwork filled out right and sent to the right people so that I can get permission to come and join. And he's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to having you. Like, cause we had to build like a little wrestling resume of like what you've done and what you haven't done in order for them to even accept you on the team. And so he got my little wrestling resume and he was like, oh yeah, you coming. Like, you're coming. Like, I don't care what you say, what you're doing. I was like, yay, he liked that I wrestled in these little local tournaments and I still did good. He was like, no, your high school career. And then he was like, then he thought back and was like, I remember seeing you at Sunshine State games, but I didn't think, he's like, I truly didn't think anything of it because you just assume that I'm going to be like everybody else and not do anything. And here I was 2.5 years later, 3 years later, and I'm walking on his mat.
Incredible. And then long story short, she went on to compete in the Olympic trials. She went on to continue wrestling, and now she is so in the Marine Corps they have MOSs, which is their job, for lack of better terms, that's their job, military occupation specialty. I think I said that right? And for her job, so the Marine Corps has been around since like 1700s, and for the job that she's in, only 2 women have ever reached the rank that she's reached in the U.S. Marine Corps. So very awesome. Your career is still being written. Your journey is still being written. You're still out there defending our country, which God bless you. And for those that don't know, 2 tours in Iraq, not 1, but 2 tours she did defending our country. So God bless you for all of that. And it was so cool to meet you this weekend. And all that stuff is unbelievable. So I'm so happy that I got to hear your story and welcome you on here. And hopefully they're all these young ladies that are out there on the mat now need to know who Miriam Jenkins is and what she's doing and what she did by being that first girl to do it, right? It's so cool. And then Jasmine, you end up getting your hand raised. You end up going off to college, becoming an All-American. But before all that happened, your hometown gave you a key to the city. Did you expect that? Did you see it coming?
No,
what was that feeling like?
Had no idea. Honestly, it's all thanks to Coach Turner. I think he had a big part to do with it. I didn't get, usually the girls and the guys will get, if you win state. And I won girls state championship my freshman year. You get like a ring or something, but I didn't get that. And I think Coach Turner, he made like 2 posters, just pictures of me. And yeah, I just really want to thank Coach Turner. And the Jasmine Godinez Day, March 10th, when I got noticed by the mayor, I didn't expect it. All I know is that I think he told my parents, but all I know is that he told my parents for me to get ready at this time and to meet at this place. So I'm coming into a place, he said to dress nice. And I was like, I did not know. So no, to answer your question, I did not expect it at all. I don't expect anything out of what I do. So I was just like, very humble, and I did not expect it.
So pretty cool. So for those that don't know, her town, Hialeah, Miami Lakes, honored her for the success that she had in her high school career. They gave her a key to the city, and March 10th is now forever known in that city as Jasmine Godinez. So it's so cool. And I hope that I'm so happy I got to put you guys together, because I think more ladies your age and younger need to have somebody like her to look up to and want to be not like but better, right? And want to see that, wow, look what she was able to accomplish. And girls can kick ass, girls can do big things. And I know, obviously, I talk about you all the time, Jasmine. We met, I had your boyfriend on, and he's like, I think he had just got done with his freshman, he was starting 9th grade, or you were starting 10th grade or something. And
Oh
he's
my
like,
God.
yeah, and he's like, man, you need to have my girlfriend on. I'm like, what do I need to do? Why? Well, she's a badass too. She wrestles, she does this, that. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Right. I remember, and I had you on, and
It's funny because me and him wrestled. Oh God, that's so funny.
yeah, and I remember doing that. And then the first time I met you and him together was we were coming out of COVID, and Osceola did that tournament at where States was, right next to where States was. Remember, they couldn't do anything at the school, so they did that big thing there, and I was giving out pins. And
Oh yes, I
I
remember.
met you two in the
32
corner, and we
qualifier.
yeah, it was the qualifier, but they couldn't do it at the
Qualifier.
school. They did it there, and I got to meet you too, which was really, really super
Yes.
cool. And then from there, obviously, we've all been close since. And like I said, I'm so happy our country and hopefully the world is getting to see what you can do. So keep doing it, keep getting better. And you're around the right coaches now. You're going to be around the right girls, and they do some amazing things over there at Lifeview. So I can't wait to see what you do. I'm going to try and get up there. I know Omi was asked me to come up for the Lifeview Open. I know the boys have a Lifeview Open up there.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. So keep doing big things. Thank you so much for all you do and going out there and obviously repping the 305 and the state of Florida. It's super cool. And I mean, what can I say? Miriam Jenkins, I mean, the history is mostly written for everything you've done for our state and for girls. And, and please, any women, any girls out there, you need a mentor, any of these girls, not just Miriam, but Jasmine would be more than happy, I'm sure, to help you on a bad day, to help you get through some binds, because they've all been through what you're going through. So super cool. And now to see our state have girls sanctioned is incredible. You both were there.
Oh my
when
God,
it was
so
sanctioned.
excited.
And then you got to wrestle with the boys at boys states. You got to feel that, just that amazing, both of you did that, right? So insane. But thank you so much. I know I could stay on here for another hour. I have so much more I can talk to you guys about. But I'm sure you guys have things to do. So, but I just wanted to tell you the story.
Thank you for setting this up. It was really nice meeting you, Miriam.
Nice
Yeah,
meeting
awesome.
you guys. Reach out, talk, let's chat. Sometimes this is so much fun. And I wish you the best of luck in the rest of your career.
Thank you.
Better than the best of luck. I wish you like every championship you can have.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll send you her cell phone number, Jasmine.
Thank you.
I'll put you guys on a group chat.
Do that. Thank you.
I'm glad I could put this together. This is awesome. Thank you, ladies. Keep,
Thank you.
like I
You
tell
guys have a great day.
keep kicking life's ass.
All right.
Yes.
What do you say? Hoorah? Is it hoorah?
Hoorah and Semper Fi.
Semper Fi. Hoorah, Semper Fi. All right. See you guys. Good luck this year.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Bye.